You know, the entire AI revolution, from chatbots to drug discovery, it all runs on these incredibly complex computer chips. But here's the thing, the whole industry's kind of slamming on the brakes. Why? Because of a hidden crisis, a global bottleneck in one tiny but absolutely critical part. And in this explainer, we're going to look at the one company that's going all in, betting its entire future on fixing it.
All right, so here's the plan. First, we're going to break down exactly what this bottleneck is that's holding AI back. Then, we'll get into the wild, all-in strategy one company is using to break it. We'll even look at the secret tech that's giving them an edge. And finally, we'll see how solving this problem, well, it just creates a whole new one.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big problem, the global AI bottleneck. See, to really get the solution, you got to understand the problem first. And it's not the AI software, the code. Nope. It's the actual physical hardware that these things desperately need to even exist.
So why the sudden slowdown? Well, it all comes down to a very specific kind of memory chip. This one little thing has become maybe the single rarest resource in the entire tech world. And without it, those super powerful AI processors, they're basically just very, very expensive paperweights.
And that component is called high bandwidth memory, HBM for short. Now, I want you to think of it like a skyscraper for memory. Instead of laying chips out flat, side by side, HBM stacks them straight up, vertically. What that does is create this massive, super fast data highway straight to the AI processor. And that's absolutely critical for the kind of heavy lifting that models like ChatGPT have to do every second.
And this is where we hit the wall. This is the bottleneck. Building these memory skyscrapers, it's just incredibly resource heavy. We're talking more than 3 times the manufacturing capacity compared to a standard memory chip. So with AI demand just exploding, the industry literally can't make them fast enough. And boom, you've got a massive global shortage.
Which brings us to the hero of our story, if you will, a South Korean company called SK Hynix. They looked at this crisis, this huge problem, and decided to make just an absolutely colossal, all-or-nothing bet. I mean, look at this. They're just throwing an almost unimaginable amount of cash at this problem. We're talking 29 times trillion won. That's over 20 billion US dollars. It's a 30% jump in what they originally planned to spend, all focused on one thing: building more HBM and building it faster. It's a total brute force strategy.
And when you look at this, you totally get why they're betting so big. For SK Hynix, HBM isn't just some side business. It's basically becoming their entire business. It's on track to be a staggering 77% of their total sales. So yeah, this isn't just a smart move. For them, it's about survival. And the thing is, they're already the undisputed king of HBM, with a massive 62% of the market. So like it or not, the job of fixing this global shortage, it lands right on their shoulders. But hey, with that kind of responsibility comes a pretty enormous opportunity, right?
So you can bet a move this big didn't go unnoticed. Of course not. What SK Hynix did was basically fire the starting gun on an industry-wide, super high-stakes race against the clock. And this right here, this is the battleground. You've got SK Hynix boosting their capacity by a solid 50%. But just look at their rivals. Samsung is playing a frantic game of catch-up. They're trying to ramp up by an insane 150%, and that's just to get to the same level as SK Hynix by 2026. Everybody is scrambling.
So what's the result of all this frenzy? A planned 83% jump in global HBM capacity in just 1 year. That's wild. And it's all happening because of these massive new factories getting built, like SK Hynix's new M15X facility, which is basically designed to do one thing: crank out these supercritical memory chips.
But here's the twist. This isn't just about who can throw the most money around or build factories the fastest. No, SK Hynix has a secret weapon, a hidden tech advantage that's giving them a really critical edge in this whole race.
It's this proprietary tech called MR-MUF. Okay, so what is that? Think of it like a special goo that's both a super glue and a high-tech cooling system. It fills in all the tiny gaps between the stacked memory chips, which makes the whole skyscraper tougher. And, this is the really important part, it's way better at getting rid of heat, which is a total performance killer. And don't mistake this for some small tweak. This MR-MUF tech is a complete game changer. It's 1.6 times better at getting rid of heat, which lets them build those taller, more complex 12-layer stacks. But here's the real kicker. It dramatically boosts their manufacturing yield. That means they get more perfect working chips from every single wafer they make. And when supply is this tight, that is an absolutely priceless advantage. Okay, so all this money, all this cool tech, does this mean the great AI memory shortage is finally over? Well, the answer is kinda yes, but it's not that simple. It looks like they're solving one massive problem, only to create a completely new one.
The numbers here really tell the story. By 2026, global HBM capacity is set to explode by 83%. Now, demand is still growing like crazy by 35%, but for the first time, supply is actually going to grow faster than demand. What that means is the raw, we just can't make enough part of the shortage, that should start to ease up by late 2026.
But hold on. This does not mean the race is over. Not at all. It just means the finish line moved. The bottleneck is shifting. See, the old problem was simple, not enough supply. The new problem is way more complex. It's about getting the next generation of memory, HBM4, to work perfectly with what customers are building next.
Yeah, the whole game is changing. It's not about who can build the most anymore. Now it's about who can build the best. The new competition is all about who can get their next-gen tech, their HBM4, qualified and approved by the big players like NVIDIA first. It's a race for technical validation.
And that kind of leaves us with this final thought, right? This whole saga to solve the AI memory crisis. It just goes to show you that the finish line in tech is always moving. The brute force race for sheer capacity, that's coming to an end. But the smarter, more complex, brainy race for the next big thing, well, that has just begun. So who's going to win?